Go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Stand by for further instructions, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment.
Secondary guidance systems engaged. Secondary guidance systems engaged.
Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, it will be on my mark.
Thank you for coming by the Minnesota Black Robe Regiment channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a interaction between Lisa Hanson and the city attorney of Albert Lea, Minnesota. Many of you might be familiar with the interview that I did with Lisa back in December. She had opened up in defiance of Governor Tim Walz's order to shut down your restaurants to be closed for in-person dining. She made that decision not lightly, but based off of the fact that she, no matter what she did, she was basically looking at losing her business. Subsequent to that, she had a rally that I attended, and as we advanced throughout the month of December and into January, Lisa began to run up against resistance from her community, a small segment of her community, not a large segment of her community, but no one in the community that has more power than the city attorney of Albert Lea, Kelly Martinez. Now, I want to go back to January of 2020. Lisa Hanson was then and continues to be a constitutionally compliant, law-abiding member of the community of Albert Lea. She is a constitutionally compliant and law-abiding citizen of the United States of America. She has never been a legal pariah, if you will. Lisa continues to be a law-abiding citizen, but not according to Kelly Martinez. Kelly Martinez has decided to prosecute Lisa Hanson. And I actually use the phrase persecute. Now, not in a spiritual sense. Now, I'll say this. I believe that Kelly Martinez's actions indicate that she is an enemy of the United States of America, that she is an enemy of the Constitution of the United States. I believe that she is a shill for Governor Walz, and I believe that she is under the thumb and under the control of Keith Ellison. I believe that her actions against Lisa Hanson indicate that she is a Marxist, at the best, a leftist, but more than likely a Marxist. Now, having said that, I also believe that she has a very personal vendetta against Lisa Hanson and the Interchange. And I'll go into that in a follow-up video to this. But what you're going to see in this video today, and I'm not going to do the whole video because there are going to be parts where it's just dead air. But what you're going to see in this video is a very calculated effort on the part of Kelly Martinez, the city attorney of Albert Lea, Minnesota, to paint Lisa in as bad a picture as possible. Lisa has done nothing wrong legally. Her great crime, according to the state of Minnesota, and according to Kelly Martinez, the city attorney of Albert Lea, is that she's dared to defy Governor Walz. And how dare anyone defy Governor Walz? Kelly Martinez, this is directed at you. You are a public servant, madam. You serve the public. That means you serve the entirety, the totality of the public, not just a particular segment. You don't just serve immunocompromised people. You don't just serve people who are afraid of a virus that has a better than 97% survival rate. Kelly, you serve everyone. And as part of that, that means that you serve Lisa Hanson. And by serve Lisa Hanson, I don't mean you serve her legal paperwork. Like, oh, I don't know, springing criminal charges on her unaware, unexpected. Now, sure, Lisa Hanson had some reasonable expectation that someone was going to come for her. But you surprised her with criminal charges back at the end of January. 6 of them in one day. Kelly Martinez, you are a disgrace to the Constitution of the United States. The people of Albert Lea should be disgusted that you represent them. They should be absolutely horrified at the kind of power that you wield. And I want to say this too before we get into watching Lisa's video. In this video, you're going to see Lisa attempting to deliver legal documents. It's not a legal service in the sense of she's not serving the city attorney, Kelly Martinez, with a legal service for a civil case or something like that. She has a rebuttal to criminal charges that she wants to offer to Kelly. She has an obligation to do that. Consider it discovery so that Kelly can review those before the following day's court proceedings. That's what Lisa's there for. Lisa has attempted to call. She's been to the county courthouse where she complied with the mask mandate there. She made numerous attempts to contact the city attorney to say, I've got legal paperwork for you. Every single one of those calls was ignored. And on top of that, they were not returned. She had an obligation to get that in before the end of the business day. She put on a face shield when she entered the building, and you'll see that. And then I'm going to let you observe the rest of this. Kelly Martinez is calculated in her attack against Lisa. A member of the community who has never been in trouble with the law. Kelly Martinez wants to throw Lisa Hanson in jail in the local detention center. And to do that, she will utilize whatever tactics she can to make it happen. That's not the job of the city attorney of Albert Lea. Sure, as a prosecutor, she has a job to prosecute crime, no arguments. But her job is not to single out a single citizen for prosecutorial angst just because she has a political agenda. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Kelly Martinez has a political agenda. Her actions demonstrate she's a leftist. I want to give props to the Albert Lea Police Department and their staff. You will see that they've conducted themselves in a very professional manner. But you will also see a very strong double standard that is going to be leveled against Lisa Hanson of the Interchange. And then employees of the city of Albert Lea themselves are not fully compliant with what the city attorney, Kelly Martinez, is requiring of individual citizens. So let's join Lisa Hanson and her personal assistants here as they enter the Albert Lea City Hall and attempt to deliver this paperwork. Let's just see how this goes. So please note here, Lisa does not have her face shield on yet. That's about to change.
I don't know if she's here. Yeah, but
And just to note, there are several Lisas at play in this scenario. I'll pay very close attention to what happens as they approach the front desk area of the city attorney's office. This is Lisa Williamson. She's the receptionist slash legal aid, I don't know, for the city attorney's office. Notice how she came back from around the back part of the office. I'm going to assume that she was actually at the office door, the desk of the city attorney, Kelly Martinez. Notice what Lisa Williamson's not wearing. Watch how she approaches the glass. Watch what she does here as well. She's opening this so that Lisa is wearing a mask, and this other city employee, I want to say the front desk employee, she's wearing a mask. Lisa's got her face covering on, and the Lisa behind the glass has neither a face mask on, and she's opening this up. Right now, everything's copacetic. She has no problems with any of this.
Lisa Williams. Nice to meet you. Is Ms. Martinez in? She is. Would I be able to just hand some papers to her? Yeah, have a seat. Thank you.
So what are we doing here?
Oh, hey. We are dropping off a document for the, I can't read in this thing. We're dropping off a document for the city attorney, Ms. Martinez. It's basically a rebuttal, an objection, and a non-consent, as well as a jurisdictional challenge to her charges against me. It's absolutely unconstitutional what she is doing, and so we are going to challenge her on her claims. So we have that coming. It seems, looks like she's maybe soon to come out, or she's going to make us wait for a while. I'm not sure. Oh, Lisa Williamson doesn't have a mask on, does she?
No.
The secretary. I don't believe she put a mask on when she went back into Ms. Martinez's office.
Lisa's doing a great job doing the commentary here. I like that she's pointing this out. So Kelly Martinez is going to come out eventually after making Lisa Hanson wait for an unreasonable amount of time. So Kelly Martinez is demonstrating that she has the power, that in her mind, she has the power, okay? She's forgotten her place. Kelly Martinez is a public servant. She's a constitutionally... Let me rephrase that. She is supposed to be a constitutionally minded public servant. She needs to remember who she works for. So whether it's an appointed position or an elected position does not matter. She takes an oath to defend the Constitution, which means she is not an official over Lisa Hanson. Kelly Martinez is a servant to Lisa Hanson. She's a servant to Lisa Hanson. Kelly Martinez, you are a servant to Lisa Hanson. She's your boss, young lady. She's your employer, if you will. The city of Albert Lea does not employ you. The city of Albert Lea employs no one. The city of Albert Lea employs people at the behest and the discretion of the people of Albert Lea. Kelly Martinez, you work for Lisa Hanson and others like her. And you make your boss, you make the people you serve wait for you. And then when Lisa points out that Lisa Williamson, or Lisa Williams, like whatever her name is, isn't wearing a mask, you go, well, she was by herself, completely blowing by the reality that she went to your office without a mask on. And we'll hear that. But I want people to understand what's happening here. Kelly Martinez is asserting her dominance like an alpha dog, alpha female dog in a dog pack. She wants Lisa Hanson to know full well who's in charge in this situation. That's what she's doing, all right? That's what's going on here. And Lisa Hanson's picked up on this.
No mask wearing here. This is interesting. It's not my phone ringing, is it? Interesting. No masks here in the city office.
Well, we have seen some people wearing masks.
I shouldn't say no mask in the city. Where we're at right now, in the office that we are looking into, which is Ms. Martinez's office.
Slight correction, Lisa Hanson. It's not Ms. Martinez's office. It's the office of the city attorney of the people of Albert Lea. That office belongs to you, Lisa. That office belongs to everyone who lives in Albert Lea. Kelly Martinez uses that office at the pleasure and the leisure of the people of Albert Lea. She should be removed from that office. The people of Albert Lea should be calling for her to be ejected from that office.
I haven't seen a mask yet. I'm assuming Ms. Martinez will be wearing a mask when she comes out.
Let's hope so, for her sake.
I love that.
So what's the
Awesome.
legality of what you're handing her right now?
Well, we're just stating that it's a bunch of really important legal stuff, lawful information that says that the governor has no right or jurisdiction to make peacetime emergency laws in reference to a person's effects. We, the people, have the right and the freedom to operate our businesses, to live our lives freely, and to make our own health choices. That the governor does not have the capacity, he's not given the capacity to make these decisions for us. And so he's making these decisions out of line or against his oath of office.
So are you in support of these office workers not wearing their masks then?
I guess if I have to wear a mask, or if you have to wear a mask, or the people down the hallway have to wear a mask, these people should also have to wear a mask. And so far I haven't seen the secretary.
So you were just at the courthouse too. What were you doing there?
We were at the courthouse filing our rebut with the court system, with the clerk of courts. So now the rebut will go to the judge, and it will be filed, and it will go to the judge, and he will see it yet today or tomorrow before our arraignment, so that he understands our rebut before we go into the Zoom session. So then we'll have the Zoom session tomorrow, the arraignment, and hopefully that'll all go well. Hopefully a lot of people will be joining us and filling up the Zoom audience, however you say that. So really what we're seeing is, our constitutional rights are being trampled on. We are seeing tyranny like we've never seen it before in this country, since we've had the Constitution, since we've been protected by the Constitution. And this is something that we need to put a stop to. So here we are, we're exercising our lawful constitutional rights. We're in City Hall at the city attorney's office, and
This.
would like to speak with her.
It's 2 seats here, not 6 feet apart.
I would say maybe 2.5.
I mean, definitely not 6 feet though, which
Yeah.
is according to all these people, the law.
Right, right, that's true. Good observation.
So,
So I'm finding maybe some discrepancies here. What's good for the goose is not good for the gander. They may be able to hear us all right through that, by the way, so.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's a camera in that little cube area where Lisa and her entourage are waiting. Almost guarantee you there's a camera there. It's a city office, and I have other reasons to believe that it would be demonstrably provable that there are cameras with microphones there. So I can almost guarantee you that they're watching. Someone is watching what's happening in this office right now. Now, I want you to know, Lisa and her crew have been incredibly respectful. Lisa and her crew have been incredibly polite and civil. And I do believe they're being listened to, yes.
So anyway, here we are, and we could be.
I mean, there's plenty of room in this
well.
little area to put 2 seats, definitely 6 feet apart. So it's just little things like that, right, that are hypocritical, we've seen.
Yeah. Oh, they must be listening.
Yeah, maybe.
Watch this.
I'm not serving anything.
And she
I'm
now
just
has a
grabbing my
mask on.
papers. For Kelly, Ms. Martinez. Sure. Oh, guess what? Would you mind going back out to the car? It's just gonna be just a minute. Would you mind running back out to the car and grabbing my red folder? It has another copy in it. I only brought 1 copy inside. Uh-oh. Oh, thank you. So what I'm gonna ask, if you're going to deliver these to her, I'll give you her copy, and then I forgot to bring my copy in, but on the back of my copy, if you could just sign it that you have delivered the copy to Ms. Martinez. Otherwise, I can just hand it to her.
Now, she won't do that. Notice the very subtle head shake. She's not interested in doing that. Now, remember, when they got there, no mask on. Door opens, no mask on. Lisa's now asking very, very politely, very civilly, a very reasonable request. I would like you to sign my copy saying that you will deliver these to the city attorney. That's a reasonable request. And even if you find it unreasonable, it's still a reasonable request, Lisa Williamson, of the Albert Lea City Attorney's Office. You, as a public servant, Lisa Williamson, have an obligation to do what is reasonable here. Whether you agree with Lisa Hanson's position or not, you have an obligation to serve her because you too are a public servant. Regardless of what your co-worker, the city attorney, says. She's not your boss, she's your co-worker. Your boss is standing in front of you. Your employer is standing in front of you. Lisa Hanson is the city of Albert Lea in this moment. Not you, Lisa Williamson, not Kelly Martinez. The city of Albert Lea is Lisa Hanson, and she's standing there making a reasonable request of you, and you're like, nope, not going to do that.
I can just hand it to her then. I can do that. If that's the only way that I'm going to get in, I can.
So what Lisa Williamson is saying here is, I have a husband with cancer.
So you probably can hear her right now.
So I am heartily sorry, Lisa Williamson, that your husband is ill. I mean that. I'm very sorry that your husband is ill. We've all had family members who have had cancer. Okay? But I want you, Lisa, to remember that when you open that window so that you could talk to your fellow city employee and so that you could talk to Lisa Hanson, you didn't have a face covering on and you were perfectly fine opening that window then until you realized who you were talking to, until you talked to your coworker, Kelly Martinez, and now all of a sudden, the most important thing for you in the world is protecting your sick husband. And I know this sounds incredibly mean and it's not meant to be, but you don't get to do the emotional appeal now of you're dangerous, Lisa Hanson. You're a dangerous person. She wasn't dangerous when you didn't know who she was. She wasn't dangerous when you opened that window before. But now because you've talked to Kelly, she's now dangerous and you have to play the health scare.
She's asking to put a mask on. And she wasn't wearing a mask the whole time when she was talking to
I'm
Kelly
sorry,
Martinez.
I can't.
She's asking Lisa now to put a mask on, even though she wasn't wearing a mask.
Or what's another option? I would be willing for this purpose to put the face shield on because this is a very important thing that this gets into Ms. Martinez's hands. It's a document that she's going to want to have. And lawfully, I'm required to hand deliver this document to her. Oh, thank you. So can I hold that for just a second? I'll just grab. So if you're willing to give it to her, that would be great. I'm instructed to just get your signature on the back of my copy stating that you delivered it to Ms. Martinez. Would you be willing to do that? Otherwise, if you want me to put my face shield on, I can come in. Here she comes now.
Notice that cocky, dismissive, hands on her hips, defiant, petulant child. Now she's angry. She's angry because Lisa's not obeying her. Lisa Hanson is not obeying her. This public servant is PO'd at her employer, the city of Albert Lea, who in this moment is Lisa Hanson. And she's being incredibly dismissive. You put it on the chair and go out in the hall. This is legal paperwork. This has personal information on it. This has legal arguments on it. And this servant is telling the boss what to do. This servant is telling the person she serves how to behave. Another example of a person who's forgotten their position.
Here she comes.
See that? This dismissive. No, go, you petulant peasant. Be gone from my presence. You are beneath me. You've forgotten who you are. I am the boss. I am a clerk in the city attorney's office.
I tried to schedule an appointment today and I didn't get a return call, so.
It's been a very busy day with both other hearings, so, I would ask you and you schedule an appointment, we'll do that. I have you on my computer to call for an appointment, I will do that with the
This is a document that you're gonna want before tomorrow's arraignment.
That's fine, we're happy to have you give us the document, you can sit on that chair if you're not wearing a mask.
You could sit on that chair because you're not wearing a mask. Now, once again, I'm going to point this out. Kelly Martinez, you are not in charge. You are a servant. You, as a city attorney, should be versed in the Constitution. You work for Lisa Hanson, Kelly Martinez. You've forgotten your place, lady. You are not the alpha female in this pack. The people of Albert Lea are. You don't make those decisions. You don't get to boss her around. You don't get to tell her what to do. Just put it on the chair and leave, you filthy plebe. Your dismissiveness reeks of high-handed arrogance. This is why you should be removed from your position.
So why wasn't Lisa Williamson wearing a mask when I entered?
That is a phenomenal question. And now Kelly's going to say, well, she was alone. She wasn't alone when she was talking to you. She wasn't alone when she came from your office to meet with them. You are a hypocritical twit, Kelly Martinez. You are out of your depth, lady. Out of your depth.
I'm standing here by myself.
She walked over to Kelly Martinez's office without a mask on.
She entered your office as well without a mask, just stating the truth here. Okay, I'll be calling.
I am going to tell you, you may leave the paper there and exit the building. You don't have that authority, lady. You're not in charge. Everybody's so kowtowed, not Lisa Hanson, but she's so used to being looked at as the city attorney of Albert Lea. I am someone and you will listen to me. Do you know who I am? This is the person who's going to get pulled over for a speeding ticket sometime and go, do you know who I am? This is the person who walks into the local mega home improvement center and says, do you know who I am? I should have a discount. This is the person who walks into a restaurant that are, well, not anymore, you know, well, she might, but only those she approves of who toe the line that she has established. I am Kelly Martinez. I should get a discount. Do you know who I am? Do you know what my credentials are? Look at, and you can just see it in her posture, the arrogant. If you could see her face.
I'm going to stay here in the office. I'm going to go ahead and reach out to law enforcement. They can come and deliver it then.
And did you hear that? Oh, don't worry, they're on their way. So notice no one's had a chance to call the non-emergency number from that office in that brief span of seconds. You're going to find out why.
They seem to think they have the upper hand right now.
And sadly, they think that because they've been treated like they're untouchable sovereigns and royalty. The worst people in the United States criminally are attorneys, for the most part, especially city attorneys.
Hey, Sheriff, do you have a minute?
Lisa is talking to the Freeborn County Sheriff here. She's known him for years, and she has a right to talk to him. He is the highest constitutional authority in the county of Freeborn, the highest constitutional authority. He has an obligation to represent Lisa in this situation, not the county or the city attorney's office. He has an obligation in this position to represent Lisa Hanson, and he does actually a very good job of it, being on the phone with her, trying to walk her through what's going on. But oh, this gets really good here in about, I don't know, 30 seconds.
I am at the city attorney's office. I have entered. There are people sitting in the office. Lisa Williamson, that did not have a mask on. She entered the city attorney's office without a mask. I then took my face shield off because I realized that, well, if they don't have to wear a mask, neither do I. They will not receive my document. They want me to leave it on the chair out in the office. It sounds like they've called the police department, which I said, that's basically, they told me to leave it in the office and then they wanted me to leave. I said, that's okay, I'll go ahead and call law enforcement. And so they said, never mind, the police department's on their way. I am just trying to deliver a document. This is not a service. I made that clear. She told me I had to have an appointment. I tried to call. They would not return my call. Today I called this morning. The message was given through the office and no return call. So they're just being extremely uncooperative. All I want to do is drop off the document. It's a rebuttal for tomorrow's arraignment. There's yeah, it's a document that Assistance of Counsel has prepared. It's an objection, non-consent, and jurisdictional challenge. It's not a big deal. I filed this with the courthouse, with the clerk of courts, and that all went really great. That they're entering that into the system, and so then my next step was to come over here and drop off a copy, because that's what I am lawfully supposed to do. I'm just trying to do what I'm just trying to abide by the law here.
Here comes Albert Lea PD.
They're very busy, and I need to make an appointment.
Hello, hey there. Over at the police department, what's going on? Lisa's on the phone with the sheriff right now. Okay.
It's one officer from the Albert Lea PD. Wait for it.
Sure.
Here it comes. Wait for it.
I'm happy to. It just needs to get to the city attorney. That's all. So I'll see if the police department will take it for me. Yeah. I just didn't want to leave the document like.
You guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 officers. I'm assuming this one right back here is an intern of some sort, or a ride along of some sort. I don't know. Watch now. Watch. When Lisa Hanson and her crew got into the city attorney's office, Lisa Williamson was not wearing a mask. She went to the city attorney's office, Kelly Martinez, without wearing a mask. This gentleman is not wearing a mask. This officer is not wearing a mask. I want you to, nowhere in sight, all right? Nowhere in sight.
Hello. Hey. Lisa's on the phone with the sheriff right now.
Once again, the Albert Lea PD, very professional. They did nothing wrong, but they're not wearing their masks. They're not. They're not wearing masks.
No, it's inside. It's in the foyer or the entrance to the office. There's 2 chairs sitting there about 2.5 feet apart. So they're talking to Ms. Martinez right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing going on here. There's no reason for 6 officers to be here right now.
I'm sorry, sir.
We're here, peace.
What he just said there is absolutely 100% true. There is no reason for this kind of response. But you're going to find out why this response happened, okay? You're going to find out why.
Billy.
I do. Would you do that for me? Just a minute, Sheriff, I just want to make sure I get the right docs here.
We'll get them from you later, and I'll be happy to follow you. Thank you.
You should be real sweet.
And Lisa's picking up on something here. Kelly Martinez came out of her office and addressed Lisa as if she were a serf or a plebe or some sort of servant. Now all of a sudden, Albert Lea PD's there, and Kelly's just, oh, well, we had this issue, and we can't hear her, but you could just, Lisa's picking up on it, and she's making it very clear. All right, Kelly's putting on airs to demonstrate how she's the reasonable one, and she's not. She's forgotten her place, and she caused this scene. This was not Lisa Hanson that caused this scene. This was a city attorney who's prosecuting Lisa Hanson for crimes against humanity. It's like Nuremberg.
No, they have not accepted the documents. I'm sorry.
Kurt Strom.
Kurt Strom is here, and he's got them.
Good. We just have to go out this way.
Lisa's incredibly uncomfortable here, and I don't blame her. I would be too. All of a sudden, you're inundated, rushed. I mean, it wasn't a bum rush, but the officers come rushing in. For what? For what? Why did the Albert Lea PD need to rush into this situation? Because they came rushing in. Now, they didn't have guns drawn, but they very easily could have, and you'll find out why.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Kurt.
No, that's Kurt.
Oh, excuse me, Jeff. Okay. Okay, are we, you want to hang on or what?
Kurt, you just have to go outside of the next one.
Oh, well, should I put the shade on?
Well, I think everything's done here, otherwise the building's closed down. You dropped off your stuff, I've got it all given for you.
You will deliver it to them?
Can we get a signature? We need a signature on that.
You got it videotaped, okay, you need a signature, you have videotaped, so. But Kurt knows who I am, so.
All right. All right.
It's 102.
Sheriff, can we hang up now? Okay, he said thank you.
All right.
All right, can I hang up now, Sheriff? Thank you, bye-bye. Okay.
Just have to abide by the policies of the.
Lisa is not the problem here, okay? I know I'm struggling a little bit because this is really frustrating to me. Lisa is not the problem. This is City Hall, ladies and gentlemen. This is the people's building, not in the communist Marxist way. This belongs to the citizens of Albert Lea, not to the city manager, not to the mayor, not to the city council, not to the Albert Lea PD. It doesn't belong to Kelly Martinez, city attorney and chief muckety muck. It belongs to the people, but it's closed down. It's locked down. Why? To protect all the city employees from all the dangerous riffraff that could be walking around with a virus that has a better than 97% survival rate. This was all calculated. Now, I'm not saying that Kelly Martinez knew that Lisa was going to come in. I'm also not going to tell you that Lisa Hanson went in there hoping to cause a scene. Did Lisa have camera? Absolutely. And you're an idiot if you don't conduct business like this from now on. You, when you're in public, especially if you do not wear masks in the grocery stores and other places, you're an idiot if you're not running your camera. Because they're going to do their level best to paint you out to be some sort of atrocious confrontational monster. Once again, I want to point out that Lisa has done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. It is not wrong to question authority, period. Listen to this exchange.
It's interesting how I have to abide by the policy, but Lisa Williamson didn't have her mask on. She did enter the city attorney's office without a mask.
I didn't have mine either when I just came in here. You might have to put it on.
I told him I put it on, but that still wasn't good enough, so.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, gentlemen, I appreciate it. Thank you, Officer.
You're welcome.
Permanent.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want you to know that we appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you. You have a nice family.
We support you and what you guys are doing. We just thought about getting constitutional.
This is just crazy times right now in the country.
It is. You know, the only thing I would.
Has very good IPC skills and interpersonal communication skills by Officer Herman there.
Got several police vehicles. They've been very good to us.
Did we really require all this?
Well, no, we didn't. No.
This is very key, incredibly important right here.
There's 5 squad cars here,
No.
and there was like 5 or 6 of you. And
I don't know if someone accidentally hit the panic button. That's my radar.
I don't know if somebody accidentally hit the panic button. Listen.
Somebody hit the panic alarm?
Could have been, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, we sure did raise a lot of officers. Sorry about that.
That's, you have a good day.
Okay, you too. Talk to you soon. Wow.
Once again, I'm absolutely flummoxed. All right. I don't even, Kelly Martinez or her coworker, Lisa Williamson, hit the panic button. A public servant of the people of the city of Albert Lea hit a panic button. A panic button, which summoned at least 6 officers inside of the building, 2 of which were not wearing their face coverings when they came in and had plenty of time to put it on. That panic button is like, this place is getting shot up. Please come save us. Lisa Hanson posed no threat. Lisa Hanson posed no danger to anyone. That's demonstrated by the fact that Lisa Williamson opened the glass and was not wearing a mask and engaged in a very civil, very polite conversation with Lisa Hanson at the very beginning of all of this. Then they pushed a panic button and brought in law enforcement from all over the city to come in and deal with these upstart, rebellious little children, Lisa Hanson and her entourage. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not an example of law enforcement misconduct. This is an example of prosecutorial misconduct. The city attorney, Kelly Martinez, abused her position and wrongfully pushed a panic button to bring law enforcement racing in the hopes that she could find some way to forcibly extract Lisa and her team out of that building, when all Lisa wanted to do was deliver paperwork for her court appearance the next day. I'm going to let Lisa finish this off now.
Looks like the city employees have a lot of
Wow, she is very scared. Am I keys there? Oh, I apologize. Wow. Unbelievable. 5 squad cars that I counted anyway. We spoke with Officer Herman, and then also Sergeant, I'm just still learning all their names, but you know, really great. We love Albert Lea Police Department. They do a great job. We didn't call them. The city attorney called them, and boy, for some reason she thought we needed 5 squad cars. And how many police officers was it? There 6, 7, 8.
Do I look angry?
6 walked in right away.
Yeah, 6 that walked in right away, and I think a detective as well. And so anyway, just told them, you know, that I really appreciate the work that they do for, you know, protecting the communities and all that. So, well, once the police got there, then Ms. Martinez got real sweet. She got real nice. So that was interesting. So anyway, go figure. See you guys soon.
I'm going to wrap this up here. It's gone a little long, but this is incredibly important. And I've said this so many times. Kelly Martinez, you are a public servant. You are not in charge. You have forgotten who you serve. You don't, like I said, you don't just serve the people who toe your line, Kelly Martinez. You serve people like Lisa Hanson as well. What you just did in this video is disgusting. You're a beast of a moron. And then I find out in the the next day during the arraignment process, when Lisa Hanson brings up the Constitution and people's constitutional liberties and constitutionally enshrined rights, you roll your eyes and make a face. But guess what? We're never going to see that because the plebes aren't allowed in the courtroom. The plebes aren't allowed to record a court proceeding. Kelly Martinez, you should resign your position. Kelly Martinez, you should be forced out. And if you can't be forced out normally, you should be fired for what you're doing to Lisa Hanson and for the way you just abused a system that's meant for dangerous situations. No one was hurting that building. No one was threatening any lives in there. You pushed a panic alarm. You pushed, for lack of better terminology, a mass casualty alarm that summoned law enforcement in there thinking there was going to be a problem. You, madam, are an idiot. You had best hope I cannot find out who you're affiliated with. But I'm going to get people digging this. I'm going to get people digging on this, Kelly Martinez. I'm going to see if you've got any affiliations to any far left groups. I'm going to find out if you're affiliated with George Soros. I'm going to find out if you're affiliated with Keith Ellison. I'm going to find out if you're affiliated with people like Ilhan Omar. I'm going to find out who you've donated to. I'm going to find out who has supported you. And if I can link you to any leftist like Ilhan Omar or George Soros or Keith Ellison, if you have direct ties to Governor Walz, we're going to expose that. And if we can expose it and if we can prove it, I'm going to make sure that you're inundated with contact from the public all over the country. As a city attorney, you are not to have a personal bias in a sense of you can't allow that to affect how you do your job. What you did was dirty and disgusting and underhanded, and you need to be held accountable for it. Lisa Hanson wasn't a danger to you. Lisa Hanson wasn't a danger to your co-worker, Lisa Williamson, or anybody else in that building. That was a publicity stunt so that you could bring it up later on to show how she was so dangerous that you had to push the panic button. You've forgotten who you work for. And it is not the mayor, it is not the city administrator, it is not the city council. All of those people work for Lisa Hanson too. You just treated your employer with the utmost of disrespect. You should be fired for that. You are a tyrant in the making. Thus always to tyrants. Kelly Martinez. Thus always to tyrants. To the rest of you watching this, especially if you are in Albert Lea, Sic semper tyrannis. Rise up and demand true constitutional justice for a business owner in your city who has never crossed law enforcement, who has never been accused of a crime prior to this. Throw off the chains of oppression, Albert Lea. Demand the removal of Kelly Martinez from office. Not elected office, but from her office of chief prosecutorial muckety muck. Sic semper tyrannis.